Most people drinking beet juice every single morning have absolutely no idea they are wasting half its power. The truth is, beet juice alone is genuinely good, but alone it is never working at its full potential. There is a discovery that vascular researchers have been quietly building for the last 8 years without telling anyone. The supplement industry knows about this research, but they have completely failed to share it with the people who need it. When you add specific natural compounds to beet juice in the right combination, something remarkable and unexpected begins to happen inside your body. The nitric oxide response, the mechanism responsible for relaxing and widening your blood vessels, does not simply increase by a little. It multiplies. And for adults over 60 whose nitric oxide production has already dropped by nearly 50%, this multiplication changes everything. The difference between marginally working circulation and genuinely restored blood flow comes down to what you add to that single morning glass. Today, I am giving you a countdown of the 6 most powerful additions that dramatically amplify the blood flow effects of beet juice. Some of these combinations double or even triple the circulatory response compared to drinking plain beet juice on its own every morning. Researchers at a leading university ran a head-to-head trial in adults averaging 68 years of age for 8 full weeks. One group drank standard beetroot juice daily, while the second group drank beetroot juice combined with specific synergistic natural additions every morning. After 8 weeks, the standard beet juice group showed a 19% improvement in peripheral blood flow reaching their hands, feet, and legs. The combined group showed a 41% improvement using the exact same base ingredient, more than double the effect with simple additions. Stay with me, because ingredient number 1 is something most of you are throwing away every single morning without realizing its extraordinary value. Number 6 on this list is fresh lemon juice. And what it does to the beet juice pathway will genuinely surprise most people. When you consume beetroot juice, your body begins a 2-step conversion process that transforms dietary nitrates into the nitric oxide your arteries need. The first step happens inside your mouth, where bacteria living on your tongue convert nitrates into nitrites before the juice even reaches your stomach. The second step happens in your stomach, where nitrites are converted into nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your arterial walls to widen. Here is the critical problem that almost nobody in the health world ever honestly explains to the people who actually need this information. After age 65, your stomach acid production declines by an estimated 30 to 40%, a condition quietly called hypochlorhydria by most physicians. That second conversion step requires an acidic environment to proceed efficiently, and without adequate acidity, the reaction runs slowly and incompletely inside your body. A significant portion of the nitrites your mouth bacteria carefully produce never successfully complete the full conversion into the nitric oxide your arteries need. Fresh lemon juice contains citric acid and vitamin C, both of which restore the exact acidic environment required for efficient nitric oxide conversion. Researchers found that adding vitamin C to dietary nitrate consumption increased plasma nitric oxide metabolites by 33% in older adults compared to nitrate alone. Squeeze 1 full lemon directly into your beet juice immediately before drinking, not in advance, because vitamin C begins oxidizing within minutes of air exposure. Let the lemon juice and beet juice sit together for 60 seconds before drinking so citric acid begins priming the conversion environment immediately. Number 5 is raw garlic, specifically 1 or 2 cloves crushed raw, and what it does to the nitric oxide pathway is extraordinary. Raw garlic contains a compound called allicin that is produced the moment garlic is crushed or chopped and the enzyme allinase becomes activated. Allicin directly inhibits an enzyme called ADMA, which essentially acts as a brake on your body's natural nitric oxide production inside your vessels. ADMA competes with L-arginine, the amino acid your vascular cells use to manufacture nitric oxide, and physically blocks the enzyme responsible for that production. After age 70, ADMA levels in the blood increase by an estimated 25% above normal adult levels, according to current vascular research data. This is one of the primary biochemical reasons why nitric oxide production declines so dramatically with age, completely independent of your diet or lifestyle. Beet juice provides the raw nitrate material for nitric oxide production, while garlic simultaneously removes one of the primary brakes, preventing production from reaching potential. Researchers found that combined nitrate and allicin intake in adults over 65 produced a 28% greater improvement in arterial flexibility over 12 weeks. Crush 2 raw garlic cloves and allow them to rest for 10 full minutes after crushing, because this rest period is absolutely critical. That 10-minute rest period allows the allinase reaction to fully complete and maximize allicin production before the garlic ever touches your beet juice blend. Consume this combination on an empty stomach in the morning because ADMA levels peak during the overnight fasting period when garlic's effect matters most. Number 4 is pure unsweetened dark cacao powder, and this is where the science of nitric oxide amplification becomes genuinely extraordinary for aging cardiovascular systems. Cacao contains the highest known concentration of compounds called flavanols, specifically epicatechin, that activate nitric oxide production through the endothelial pathway inside your arterial walls. The endothelial pathway is the mechanism by which the cells lining your artery walls manufacture their own nitric oxide in response to blood flow. This is completely distinct from the dietary nitrate pathway that beet juice uses, meaning these two ingredients are activating 2 entirely separate production systems simultaneously. Think of it this way. Beet juice is delivering raw materials to a factory, while cacao flavanols are upgrading the factory's production equipment entirely. When you combine the two, you are both increasing the supply of raw material and upgrading the manufacturing capacity at the exact same time. Harvard Medical School researchers analyzing a major cocoa trial involving over 21,000 participants found something that changed how scientists think about cardiovascular nutrition entirely. Regular flavanol-rich cacao consumption was associated with a 32% reduction in cardiovascular mortality, with the protective benefit being most pronounced in adults over 70. A separate study examining the combination of dietary nitrates and cacao flavanols found a synergistic nitric oxide response that was 58% greater than either alone. After age 75, your endothelial cells lose approximately 35% of their nitric oxide synthase activity, the enzyme that converts L-arginine into nitric oxide. Cacao flavanols are among the very few dietary compounds ever shown to partially restore that lost enzymatic activity in aging arterial walls. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of pure, unsweetened raw cacao powder to your beet juice and blend thoroughly, always drinking within 10 minutes of preparation. Never use Dutch processed cocoa because alkali treatment destroys up to 90% of the flavanol content, making it almost entirely useless for this specific purpose. Add a small pinch of black pepper to the same blend because piperine extends the biological activity of cacao flavanols in your bloodstream by 2 additional hours. Number 3 is fresh ginger root grated raw, and its mechanism inside aging circulation involves something called hemorrheology, the science of how blood physically flows. After age 75, blood viscosity increases by an estimated 18% above normal adult levels due to age-related changes in red blood cell deformability. Your red blood cells become slightly stiffer and less able to squeeze through the tiniest capillaries that supply your fingers, your toes, and your peripheral tissues. Think of the difference between water and slightly thickened syrup, both trying to flow through an extremely narrow straw at exactly the same pressure. Even a small increase in thickness dramatically reduces the flow rate through tiny channels, regardless of how wide the larger vessels have been dilated. Beet juice dilates the channels while ginger thins the fluid moving through them, addressing the circulation problem from two completely different directions simultaneously every morning. Ginger's gingerol and Shogal compounds inhibit thromboxane A2 synthesis, which is the specific compound responsible for causing platelets to aggregate and blood to become thicker. A randomized controlled trial found that adults over 65 consuming therapeutic amounts of fresh ginger showed a 23% reduction in platelet aggregation within 4 weeks. When combined with beet juice's nitric oxide-mediated vasodilation, researchers described the peripheral circulation improvement as producing effects that exceeded the predictions of simple addition entirely. Grate 1 to 2 inches of fresh ginger root directly into your beet juice blend, always using fresh root and never powdered ginger for this purpose. Consume your ginger-beet combination immediately before a 10 to 15-minute walk, because exercise activates gingerol compounds more rapidly by increasing blood flow velocity naturally. Number 2 is L-arginine powder, the amino acid that serves as the direct molecular precursor to nitric oxide production inside your vascular cells every day. Your body has upgraded equipment from cacao, open channels from beet juice, and thinner fluid from ginger, but it can only produce as much nitric oxide as raw material allows. L-arginine is the specific amino acid that your endothelial nitric oxide synthase enzyme converts directly into nitric oxide inside the lining of your arterial walls. Without adequate L-arginine, even fully functional enzymatic machinery and abundant nitrate substrate cannot produce the optimal nitric oxide output your aging vascular system genuinely requires daily. Researchers at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine found that L-arginine supplementation in adults over 65 with peripheral vascular disease produced a 22% improvement in walking distance. After age 70, the enzyme that recycles L-arginine within your vascular cells declines in activity by an estimated 20%, meaning you need significantly more dietary L-arginine daily. Add 3 to 5 grams of pure, unflavored L-arginine powder to your beet juice blend and stir until completely dissolved before drinking your morning preparation. Take it consistently at the same time each morning because L-arginine's vascular effects are dose-dependent and cumulative, meaning consistent daily exposure builds sustained plasma levels over weeks. Never take L-arginine within 2 hours of high-fat meals because dietary fats transiently increase ADMA levels, the same nitric oxide break that garlic works to inhibit. Having garlic present in the same blend simultaneously inhibits that ADMA spike, making the garlic L-arginine beet combination particularly potent and uniquely effective for aging vascular systems. And now, number 1. The ingredient you have almost certainly been discarding every single morning and have never once seen on any circulation list anywhere. That ingredient is the green, leafy tops of your beetroot, the greens attached to fresh whole beets, blended directly into your juice every morning. Most people who buy whole beets immediately remove and discard the greens before juicing or cooking the root without realizing what they are throwing away. From a cardiovascular nutrition standpoint, you may be discarding the most valuable part of the entire plant every single time you prepare your morning beet juice. Beet greens contain a compound called betaine, also called trimethylglycine, in concentrations 3 to 4 times higher than the beetroot itself that most people actually consume. Betaine works through an entirely different and clinically underappreciated pathway that makes every single other ingredient on the